everybody, today we're going to be doing the T20. We need to see why the link arms keep dropping whenever there's any weight on them and it's not in the pump position. The link arms are dropping, so what we need to do is investigate what that is. I've got a new lift cylinder in preparation, but unfortunately I can't find the gasket set that I bought to go with it, so I'm going to have to order a new one of them. And then it will turn up as it does. So first thing we need to do is disconnect the union there, and then we're blowing it off. Take the seat off, take the pins out, and then we need to take the side covers off, one down there, one down there. Take the fork linkage bolts out, because if you don't do that, you're going to get very upset very quick when it all goes wrong. We've got the engine lift there ready. And then, yeah, we need to have a look at this as well, because this knuckle is seized on the draft rod, so you can't adjust it for draft control on the linkage, because I should have done this job when I first got the tractor, which was when I was 16, but I've always lived with it, and I've just put thicker and thicker oil in to get it to stay up, but it got to the point where the valve was then sticking, which meant that when you went to lower an implement, it just used to stay where it was or crash to the floor. So that's not ideal. It's now got the correct oil in it again, but as soon as you take it out of the pump position for lift or you hit the clutch, the implement sinks. So 2 bolts there for the seat. We'll take that off. We will fire these bolts off here after we've got these pins out, and yeah, we've got the engine lift in case we need that to lift it off. Need to either take that pin out of there or take that out and take the linkage off the rocker off with it. Not so sure what's going to be easiest yet. Then we can slap that on the bench and see how much wears in the lift cylinder. We've got some new ring to the piston. We'll measure the piston, compare it to the lift cylinder, see how much wear or if there's going on the piston. If there is, we'll buy a new piston, and then we'll order these bits. When I bought the lift cylinder, nobody had any of this in stock, so that was like when COVID was on and stuff. So I just thought, well, if I'm taking it off and that lift cover gasket's about 20 quid, I thought, you know what, I'll leave it. I don't need it for anything. We only really use it for shunting, and that it's not really been a problem, but we do need to use it now for the forks a lot more. So that's that. And then what we're going to do is make a Zane linkage to go from here onto here, and hopefully that will give us some sort of position control. Very, very crude, but it'll probably do what we want. So that's the plan. If I remember correctly, all the oil will fit in this, unless I put more in to tip the trailer. So, shoot the washer. I've already given all this a clean off, and I've cleaned the pan out ready. So it should be good. Interesting to see what's in it, if anything. So this here is basically where the hydraulic pump is. Undo the bolts here. There's a port that you can use if you want to put a tipping pipe on, or for a loader, or there's a port at the back. You can see it's diagonally under there where the drilling is in the casting, so anyone wants to put a tipping pipe on, you can use that, but it will only work when the link arms are locked down, so the draft control and the quadrant doesn't actually go right to the top with the lift arm to put the valve back in neutral position in the hydraulic pump. So I thought I'd been more oil in it than that. So we'll let that drain out for a bit, and then we'll put the plug back in and tighten it up so we don't leave it loose, and take the side covers off. So take the hydraulic pipe off now. What I need to do is let the link arms down, because otherwise I will just lose all my oil like that. Silly me. Silly me. So with the link arms down, that'll take any pressure now out of here. So now hopefully when I undo that, I don't lose any oil. And then we can put a blank in this with some rag, and the same with that. And we're going to get covered in oil, aren't we? Oh, that was lucky. Might leave that on out of the way. So the hydraulic pipe is off out the way now, so we have better access to the side cover. Put a bit of paper in there. Bit of paper in there. Like so. Could do with some proper rag really, but never mind. We'll take the side cover off each side, and then we can see the forks and the bolts that are inside. So they should be 11/16, I think. Yeah. My lazy man's ratchet. Make sure it goes the right way. Oh, that'd be a disaster, wouldn't it? So these don't have to be tight because there's actually no structural. Okay, so I can only get 3 anyway. Back to the spanner. Worked well, that, didn't it? Not. So on this side we have the dipstick, and then on the other side, as I'll show you, we have the PTO selector. Just like that. Ding, ding, ding. Down there. Same on the other side. there, there's one of the bolts, and then there's the same on the other side. And what that needs is that bolt undoing and the fork sliding off. You can see the control valve down there in the bottom, which slides into the pump. And that fork just springs apart off the control valve, and then you can take the pins out and the arms out, and you can then lift the top cover off. Right, I've had enough of it in my head on the seat, so I'm going to take it off now. Probably bloody tight as well. Oh no. So while I'm doing all this and I'm waiting for the bit to come, I'm going to get the seat sandblasted and powder coated. So I'm going to go for probably a satin black, which I think will look quite good for the seat. And I'm not sure whether to get the bolts zinced or not at the moment. So I'll have a little think about that as we go. And as normal with these sort of jobs, you end up opening a can of worms, don't you? But you'd rather not open, to be honest. So we need to get the fork separated now from the control valve. And for them bolts on the fork, I found that was quite good once you'd broke the bolt loose, to actually get in there and just get it off with a little ratchety thumb thingamajig. Don't use it very often, but for little things like this it's quite good. This can be a bit awkward to get in. It'd be ideal if there was somebody to actually put the light in from the other side for me, so I can see properly. But there isn't. See in there, but the control fork is now off. It's a pain in the bum by yourself, especially if you haven't got a light on a flexi thing so you can shine it in there and see what you're doing from the other side. Yeah, I would recommend two people for that, just mainly one to hold the light and the control arm, or even just somebody to hold the light makes it so much easier. But that's the worst bit done now. The rest of it's quite easy, so we need to get these pins out. So we'll put some extra stands on the left arm to lift them up. We'll knock the pins out, and then we'll fire the bolts out, and that'll lift off. Beautiful, Philip. Fantastic.
Dear Lord.
Don't have to be very tight, do they? Have to go home. Ooh. There you go.
You've learnt what to do now.
Yeah. Get it out the bloody thing!
Have you got anything ready to lay it on?
Oh. A bit of wood there. It will soon be available. Smell of the glory days of EP90. Don't know why it smells of EP90, it shouldn't. Oh, hang on a second.
Does she need a crack?
Well, what I'm thinking is if I do something to put down, so I've got to bring my little torch. Oh well. What she needs is a blow off to get all the dust away, you see, Philip. That's why I've got the airline. Because I'm good. Because I'm good. Blow it everywhere, Philip, blow it, blow it!
Blowing everywhere.
Might need the engine lift on there then. I'll have to make a plate for that if that's okay.
Get a tap under the casting, yeah.
Get my big bar. Ha ha, big bar. I'll put the bar in, you use a belt. That's quite.
Ready? She's well on.
She is, isn't she? I think it's going to be in. Okay, stop too.
Ready?
I might have to. It's going nowhere.
Got another bar and I'll get under this side.
Might have to jack it up. I don't have another bar now.
What was that in there then? In all the millions of...
It's only a little one.
That'll do.
This one doesn't shift it, that one.
No, I'm thinking press both sides. Ready?
I'll have to put the engine lift on it. I'll fabricate a plate, Philip, and put a hook on it and the engine lift, and that on there because you push with top of the casting. Back to the drawing board!
Oh well, you don't need me after all then.
Nope, back to the engine lift. Goodbye, Philip.
Goodbye.
Go make sure the dog's okay. Let my viewers know how the dog gets on at the vet.
Indeed.
Because Dr. Phil only works on people, not animals. Isn't that right, Dr. Phil?
Absolutely.
Celebrity Phil, Celebrity Phil.
Well, it's normally bloody fixing you, isn't it?
Me?
Yeah.
You make it sound like I'm accident prone, Philip.
No, not at all.
I'm thinking bit of wood under there, you see. Into the pot in a bit. bit of a jack. And
High lift jack.
no, a bit of wood go through and normal jack, you see, so that we have more control. High lift jacks are too.
Either or.
We'll do that. As we can see, it's very wet out. Everything's getting wet. Everything's coming out, going in, coming out, going in. Really, really frustrating. The lift cover doesn't want to come off. We've had big bars under it. We've had the engine lift on it a little bit, not a lot because the threads in here aren't really very big. So the engine lift is on there just to catch it when it does pop. We've now got the jack, a block of wood going under the arm here, not under the collar, under the arm. And we're going to preload it with a jack, give it a crack with the hammer, and hope for the best. Because that's lifting the tractor. You shouldn't be doing that. And all the bolts are out, there's no bolts underneath anywhere. The quadrant stays on, comes off with it. It's just been on there since Noah was a lad and built the ark. And we need the ark today, people. We really do. I'm going to get a block of wood, smack it on there, smack it on the other side. It's either coming off or it's breaking. One or the other. Or my concrete floor is going to crack. I'm taking the weight off of that now. Get a block of wood, long hammer, crack. And get wet. Don't forget getting wet, people. I want a bit of wood. I don't know where I put the hammer now. Not working, is it? The thread driver. Trying to get an open to get in now because of the engine lift. Kind of running out of ideas. There's just like nowhere to get under it, and they're not the strongest thing in the world anyway. I just I know. Never ever had one this tight. Never had one this tight. Probably find me a bit of wood or snap. Because that wheel is completely off the ground. There's nowhere to get a drift in. Bloody on there. Still not moving. I'd rather not break it, but if I have to, I won't have any choice, will I? Because it's got to come off. And there's absolutely no sign of it moving. What do you do? It's jacked up. Wheels off the floor. Don't want any weight on there in case the rod breaks or something happens and it pulls the threads out of the top cover. I'm kind of struggling now. There's literally like just nowhere to get under. I don't want to put too much pressure on the back of the diff housing in case I go through it. If I go through the diff housing, I won't be happy. Straight in the oil. So what I can do is put my piece of metal in And try and get a chisel under it maybe. Anyone seen the hammer? Wow. Now, unless you'd seen it, you'd never believe it was that tight, would you? All through a paper gasket. Where did I put that? And you'll see the handle? No. You see when I took it off, didn't you? Should have put it in there, shouldn't I? Oh my god. Ah, here it is. It's okay, I found it. Just have to go back in. Tried my patience, it has. Take my bit of wood out first. My lovely painted floor. Not so lovely now, is it? But it saved me because I spilt all the oil. So I can clean it easier. Let's get this bloody cover off anyway. So you've got to be careful of the fork inside for the draft control. And all that was holding it was the power of a paper gasket. Doesn't look very nice in there. I'll show you that in a minute. Let me find my torch. Bit of corrosion on the shaft. Not quite sure what all that stuff there is, but that doesn't look the best, does it? And yeah, it's a bit of a sludgy mess in there, I believe. You can see control valve just about down in the bottom there, which is what this fork fixed onto. Yeah, so we will have to probably drop the PTO shaft out, drop the pump out, and give all that down there a good clean out. Plenty of brake cleaner. I'm going to take this opportunity as well to change the relief valve. Obviously over the years it'll be warm, but the relief valve at the moment blows off. But we can see there's plenty of scoring on the pump, so it looks like we need to do a pump rebuild as well. Because that score in there is not going to be great. And this steel pipe here is what takes the oil from the pump into this port here, which then feeds it into this port here, or that port there, and to the lift cylinder. And that's it, really quite straightforward. Differential and a mess.